I might look young, I might be part of the young generation, but I hold on to tradition, and I want Carnival to go back, not go back, but to hold the tradition. So I still believe in theater and performance and things like that, and a real show on the road. My name is Lionel Jagessar Jr., and I want to tell you a little bit about how my dad started making mass or playing mass. So, from his story that he told me, he was 10 years old. He lived in the same spot on Grand Street, 21 Grand Street, in the dead center of San Fernando. We like to jokingly say because the cemetery is on the same street with us. So, it's the dead center. And at 10 years old, there was a pansite on the same street. It was called Rogues Regiment. There was another one too. I can't remember. I think it's Teenage Symphony is the other one. And at 10 years old, they asked him to do a job for them. And he don't have no tools, he don't have hammer, he don't have nothing. He have a cutlass and a rock that he make into hammer. And he made spears and hatchets and swords and stuff for, they were doing a Roman band. And he made all the weapons and things for them there. And he was 10 years old, and that's the first time he took a job in that. But his influence was really like the area. So in this area, I had pan side, they had a guy tuning pans, they had a guy doing paper mache, they had wire benders. They always had a life of mass in this area. So he was always exposed to things like that. So that was at 10 years old. That was his primary school days. He went to Boys RC. All the boys in this house, 15 boys, went to San Fernando Boys RC. But his older brothers was involved with Mark before him. So that was his real exposure. So his older brothers would make fancy Indian mass. Well, at the time, that version of fancy Indian, they were much older than him. He actually had 7 brothers and 7 sisters. So all of them, the older brothers, I don't know how many of them, but the closest one to him was in age was Pablo, was his nickname. He was the guy. He was the wire bender and the mass maker before him, and so that was his biggest influence in that. So he would always draw mass or anything, and during the year we never had regional carnival and performances and all this kind of life we have now. We have opportunities to play the mass. So he would take his older brother costume and put it on and practice during the year. He always had that interest in it. He was always artistic. So it wasn't really organized. It was just people making a mass, a group of people, even on his brother's time too. It wasn't a structure like how we have Banadier and we have a route, and we didn't have city hall, it was town hall. So people would have go out in groups and chant and stuff. So you had to be around the guys to learn the mass and stuff. So it's only mainly exposure that way, being around his brothers and being around other people who making mass like that. The story with this 10-year-old thing, that was 1960. And then in the 70s is when, he had sections in other bands, things like that, until he brought his own band in the late 70s. He started with 100 people. It was straight into large band in San Fernando. It was him and a group of his friends. They were making like the sections in other bands, and the group of friends say, we have enough people, we could get, they hired Shades and Steel as the pan side to play, not even a DJ truck. And they came out with 100 people. Council of the Chiefs was the name of the band, and they came out with their first band. 114, 115 people, and it went flowing from there into actual business. And Carnival changed over the time too, from the 60s, 70s to now. All these decades had different structures. So it evolved from the Carnival Development Committee into San Fernando Carnival Committee when we changed from a borough to a city. So we also evolved. The style of the costumes evolved. Opportunities also evolved. 1999, when it was our 25th anniversary, we had over 1,200 people in the band in San Fernando right here. 4 DJs, drinks truck, the full work. So San Fernando Carnival did have a heyday where it was just rivaling anywhere else. There are 54 parades in Trinidad on Carnival Day. It's not just Port of Spain and San Fernando. There are 54 regions. So Princestown, Gasparillo, Miaro, Rio Claro, Arima, Toco, they all have small parades. But at any time in history, they would have been massive. They might have been small. Now the regions are getting very much smaller due to lack of funding for like prize money, infrastructure and stuff like that, and also encouragement. So San Fernando is always known for like Indian mass, traditional, authentic, what we call authentic and what we call fancy as well. What Dad always said too is we played fancy before we play authentic. So authentic is not really traditional mass. It fits in, but we like fancy more than we like traditional. There's a school of thought that says fancy Indian is when they took wire and put it in your headpiece. So it went from wearing natural things, feathers, and just we using palette stick and we using cane arrow to extend the sticks. And when somebody put wire in it and make it bigger, that is when it went from authentic to fancy. That would not be my explanation. I will give you mine soon, but that is what somebody like to say. So there was one of Dad's friend who is called Satan. That is his nickname in road. I don't have to explain why they call him Satan, but he was a tough dude. His grandchildren actually still play mass with us, but Dad and all the people in San Fernando credit Satan with being the first person to put wire in a fancy Indian costume. So if you listen to us in the mask camp and we talking, we will say, well, we're making a king hat or a queen hat, because if you see fancy sailors, when you see Indian mask, they always wear the mask on the head. So when we went from regular floor members into trying to be bigger, they always start extending off of the head. So we always say, you're bringing a big hat out. It always was a hat until it evolved into backpacks where we use shoulder and stuff like that. So that will give us the story, like they make a big costume, a big king, and we didn't have we had concrete pipe and aluminum. They put 2x4s, and it's 2x4 you had to put on your neck here, and that was a bodybuilder at one time in his life too. So he and only one or two other people was able to lift up the costume. So it 3 or 4 men carrying it down the road until they reached by the judging point, and it had a whole evolution of hat to 2x4 to conduit to now is fiberglass, and so that helped that evolution along too. What is our culture now? If somebody looks from outside without being told by a Trinidadian who is passionate about any single part of it, what really is our culture? What do we look like to the outside? Long time it would have been here that we go in Trinidad to play mass, we're going to play pan, or we have calypso, but when they look now, you're seeing violence, you're seeing war, you're seeing Trinidad, you're seeing all these. You have so much other things to see, but a lot more of it is being driven less than culture. I really wish that it could have theater again, it have meaning and it have performance, and it's not just thousands of people just crossing the road. And I want to be recognizable as well. I'm going to start making my samples in a few days. It wouldn't take me too long, and I will have the costumes ready. It's going to be very different from Dad's costumes. He had a signature that worked and people loved it. It was like a balance between the bikini and the beads and the traditional. And then there are some men in the band would play the full traditional, like me, him. Some of his friends would make sure we show the correct thing. But I want to make it pleasing to the next generation as well too, because people will love the traditional mask, but not everybody wants to wear it because it's a lot. And then it's like a dance group. You had to practice all year to learn the songs, to learn the movements. I mean, I could sell it to you, but then you're walking straight or you're doing the wrong thing. You don't want to do that when you're playing traditional mass. So the band is going to be is some cool ideas I came up with. Is things that I was thinking about for a while, and it will be suitable for older people and younger people. And we also make all this stuff customizable. So like if you're not comfortable being exposed, or you want to be, whatever is a comfort level, we like to customize that as well. So if you want to play mass in 2026, you want to play fancy Indian mass, or you need a customized costume, you could call me at 374-8657 or 657-5384. Our mass camp and showroom is located on 21 Granville Street right here in San Fernando. We are open almost every day for the season. Come in, check out the costumes, check out the mannequins, see if you want to play mass, have a conversation, and we also do custom made stuff. You want sports day, you need Halloween, you need whatever you need. I actually built a Rawan for Ramlila already, and I did a lot of sports day things last year. So there's no limit on once you want something created, I can do it for you.